I started Mississippi First in 2008 because as a child growing up in Mississippi and who graduated high school here and then went out of state for college, I realized that there was a lot of information that my public education didn't give me. And so after college, I joined Teach for America and came to Greenville, Mississippi to teach. And I really saw the disparity between the school district I had grown up in and the school district I was teaching in Greenville. And it really lit a fire under me that I needed to do something about this problem. And I thought the best way to do something was to start an organization whose focus was to try to improve public schools in the state of Mississippi. We have over 40 years of research that says that children who get a high quality early learning experience do better in school and they do better in life. They're more likely to graduate, they're less likely to end up in juvenile justice. The outcomes for children, not just in terms of their academic achievement, but their life outcomes are just so much better. And those impacts are even greater for children in poverty.
In my former life as a prosecutor, I really got tired of seeing the kids in the courtroom who had not finished school. And I figured there had to be a better way.
When I started Mississippi First, we were one of only 11 states in the country without a state-funded pre-K program. And that was one of the questions that I had in my mind. Why? Why is Mississippi always last in these types of things that would help us improve? Why are we one of only 11 states when the research is so clear? And that's where the idea to try to pass a bill for early learning came from.
In 2013, working with Mississippi First, we drafted and debated and passed the first early education bill in the state of Mississippi that had public support. We worked across the aisle to make that happen. And so you had Democrats and Republicans supporting the bill. And from that point on, it has been a bipartisan piece of legislation in Mississippi.
The way that it works is it sets a standard for what quality looks like, but it's agnostic in terms of who provides the program. So if you're a Head Start and you're high quality, you can participate in the early learning collaboratives. If you're a school district and you're high quality, you can participate. If you're childcare and you're high quality, you can participate. What we care about is quality, and whoever can provide quality, we're willing to let you come into the system.
We have always wanted to make sure there was access and there was equity, so that no matter where a child lived, no matter what their circumstances were, they would have equal access to high quality early childhood education.
It wasn't just that, we passed this bill and now we have state-funded pre-K. There was no infrastructure. And so one of the things that we did early on, we helped with the RFP process for the first group of state pre-K programs to apply for funding. We provided technical assistance to the Department of Education as they were, understanding what the law was and all the different components.
There's an organization called the National Institute for Early Education Research that has put out 10 research-based benchmarks about what quality looks like for state-funded pre-K programs. And when we wrote this law in 2013, it was very, very, very important to us to make sure that the law required that the Mississippi program meet all 10 benchmarks.
We're one of the 6 states in the nation that meet those near quality benchmarks. And if you think about 50 states in the nation, and we're one of 6, that's pretty impressive to me.
And over time, we have moved the conversation from should we have state-funded pre-K to how much money we should keep giving to state-funded pre-K.
This is something that I think pays dividends, and I think the data shows that. So it's just smart for us to do. It's the right thing for us to do. It's also just smart as a state for us to do this.
I can truly say that we have seen some phenomenal success with our early learning collaborative that probably would not have been the same had we not had these dollars.
We started Mississippi First with this idea that Mississippi was last in all of the good things and first in all of the bad things. And we wanted to make Mississippi first in the good things. And with this pre-K program, we have done that. We are one of a handful of states in the country that meets 10 of 10 of those near benchmarks. And that makes me so proud.